Let me first thank Colonel Goldenberg and the committee here, the Fort Chaplains Award Committee, for allowing me an opportunity to say a couple words. I've known Ray Sestak for 4, 5, 6 years now. First as a Patriot Guard rider, and then as a trusted Patriot Guard rider captain, and then as a person that I consider to be a good friend. I can say with a degree of certainty that Ray is probably the most uncomfortable person sitting in this room. The Patriot Guard Riders are a diverse group of men and women who come together at the request of Gold Star families to participate in the coming home and the military honors funeral for their fallen sons and daughters. This is our primary mission. In addition to providing motorcycle escorts, we provide flag lines at the airport, at the funeral homes, at the churches, and at the graveside. We do so to render honor, dignity, and respect for the life and service of the fallen. And we do so to afford a grieving family what little comfort and solace we can afford. We do this because it's the right thing to do. Over the years, we have expanded our mission to include participation at the funerals of any honorably discharged veteran when requested to do so. No funeral mission can take place without the boots on the ground leadership of our ride captains. In the Capital District, in Regions 4 and 5, the PGR is very pleased to have outstanding men and women occupying these important roles. Putting together such a funeral mission can be a complex undertaking. Lots of behind the scenes of what needs to be done, accomplished to ensure that the Patriot Guard Riders' participation is at the absolute best that it can be. Our ride captains need to be fully aware of what is required of them and of the protocols that need to be followed. I value their pride and their passion, but most of all, I value their ideas and their good counsel. I can say that there is not a yes man or a yes woman within the ranks of the ride captains. I appreciate the individuality that they can bring to a mission. However, there is one yes man among them. I receive funeral requests from all over the Capital Region and south of here. Many times, the physical location of this funeral request is not only miles, but it can be measured in hours, 2 to 3 hours away. And most often they're in the most sparsely populated areas of the state, and even less sparsely populated in terms of Patriot Guard Rider membership. Funeral missions don't happen without a ride captain to oversee this mission. And many is the time I'm faced with the prospect of having to make a phone call to a family and tell them that we might not be able to honor their request because of lack of availability. But before I make that phone call, I make one other phone call. Ray, I got a mission down in South Podunk, and I'm having trouble putting it together. You think that this is something that you might be able to do? And the response usually goes something like, well, I'm scheduled to do something at the VA, but let me see if I can give them a call. They can get a substitute. Or I know I got to make a run for the Red Cross tomorrow, but you know they can get another rider. So Ray makes things happen. There are scores of missions in faraway places where the veteran got his motorcycle escort, where the veteran got his flag line, where that veteran got the honor, dignity, and respect that he deserved. Grieving families were embraced, comfort and solace were afforded, all because Ray Sestak said yes. So on behalf of myself and the Patriot Guard Riders, Ray, I want to thank you very much for all that you do for us, buddy. Thank you.
I shared with Ray some things that I don't know if he knew so much about our generation of veterans. One of them was the Vietnam Veterans of America's motto is never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. I think it's a shame that that ever had to happen and be expressed that way, but that's what happened. Ray may not have known, but I grew up with a lot of personal reverence for Vietnam veterans. My dad had a barber shop in Worcester, Massachusetts, and as a kid growing up, a lot of those guys are coming back from Vietnam. And I knew even then at that age, I said, there's something different about these guys. I mean, they really had their back up against the wall. Nobody had their back. And it was so weird that literally decades later, I would serve on a foreign field in combat in a kind of similar scenario. And I said, if it wasn't for guys like Ray and his generation, God knows what we would have came back to. The political winds change, and yesterday's heroes, tomorrow's villain. And America has short memories. And I knew that it was people like Ray that fought hard, individually and as a generation, to say these guys aren't going to get what we got. And I thank you, Ray, and for your generation for what you did for us and what you continue to do, because you know you never gave up and you kept on going, and you helped pull our generation of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. You helped pull us through the other side. And it would have been a lot worse and a lot harder coming home if you guys didn't do that. So, you gotta come up again. I gotta give you a certificate, Ray. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray.
It's a great honor. Thank you.
Ray was presented with no greater glory, the story of the four chaplains, and the commander's coin of the Jewish War Veterans of America, Albany Post 105.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank our esteemed legislators, the Jewish War Veterans Post 105, Commander Todd Rosenfeld, Colonel Rich Goldenberg, and everyone associated with the Four Chaplains President's Award. I'd also like to thank Jim Keller, the voluntary service officer at the VA, for nominating me to receive this award. Fully understanding the sacrifices made by the four chaplains on that fateful night in February 1943, and the significance of this award, this is a tremendous honor for me. Did anyone besides me ride today?
First time.
You know, it's warmer than it has been, but it's still a little bit chilly. You know, and I suppose Dan McCoy is still sort of right. He told me it'd be a really cold day before I ever got an award like this. I'd also like to thank each of you for taking time out of your day to be here. All the kind words that are written in these proclamations and awards are not as much about me as they are about you, who volunteer so much of your time to support the various causes within our community. I would like to take a minute to recognize just a few individuals who inspire me and truly do make a difference. Matt Sparks, I see you back there. Matt and I have been friends for years. He's a volunteer driver for the DAV here at the Stratton VA. He builds homes for the Habitat for Humanity, delivers blood supplies for the American Red Cross, logging tens of thousands of miles a year, and coordinates the efforts of Project Equinox to deliver the food that feeds close to 10,000 people every Thanksgiving in Albany. Matt has participated in the Leatherstocking Honor Flight as a guardian, escorting World War II and Korean War veterans to their monuments in Washington, and has been very active lately locating World War II and Korean War veterans for the upcoming spring Leatherstocking Honor Flights. Thank you, Matt. John Martano. See you over there, John. John has been the president of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Capital District Chapter 8 for the past 18 years. For the past 5 years, Chapters 8 and 79 have worked together to host the annual Honor Our Vets car show that's held each August here at the VA. 100% of all proceeds from those shows have been turned over to the Voluntary Service Office and have been used to purchase non-government funded items like blanket warmers for chemotherapy patients, large screen TVs for therapy wards, and items of clothing for indigent veterans. The total donated to the VA to date from the car shows is over $50,000. Bill Shaw. Bill is, well, as you know, Bill is the Assistant State Captain and Senior Ride Captain for the Patriot Guard Riders of New York. He is our conscience and adult supervision, which I can say for a fact is no easy task. Bill has led us on missions to render dignity, honor, and respect at services and ceremonies for fallen active duty soldiers, veterans, and first responders. Patriot Guard Riders has spearheaded a little-known initiative here in New York called the Veteran Recovery Program. This project entails locating the cremated remains of veterans that have been held in storage in funeral homes around the state, some for over 40 years. For whatever reason, these individuals have been left unclaimed and forgotten. Once located, these heroes are turned over to a partnering funeral home and escorted to a national cemetery for interment, again, with great dignity, honor, and respect. They are no longer forgotten. Thank you, Bill. Nancy Pullen. Is Nancy here today? Okay, well, you get her anyway. Nancy is the PGR representative on the Veterans Affairs Voluntary Service Committee here at the hospital. Some years ago, Chapter 8 of the Vietnam Veterans of America instituted a Saturday night movie night when we focused our efforts on Ward 10B. As you've heard, you know, the words here. That's a restricted area that treats our soldiers and veterans that have more sensitive needs. Our brothers and sisters on 10B are often not included in other activities within the hospital, so we decided that we needed to go with them. Each Saturday evening, volunteers would arrive on 10B, make popcorn, and provide other snacks and treats that they would not normally receive. We would show a movie and interact with our brothers and sisters, sharing laughter and hugs of true appreciation. After some time, we found that we did not have the personnel to keep up the weekly schedule, so the project was turned over to the Patriot Guard Riders. Nancy has been coordinating and attending the movie night effort for several years, and the soldiers and veterans on 10B have never been forgotten on a Saturday night or a holiday since. Around the holidays, they're usually treated with pizza, chicken wings, or even a catered dinner. If you've ever sampled the hospital food, you know what a special treat these days can be. Thank you, Nancy. The list of individuals goes on, but if these activities sound familiar to you, it's because most of them are written within the proclamations and awards that you heard here today. As I said a few minutes ago, this award is not only about me, but all of you as well. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to help you support our veterans and military. In 1920, President Calvin Coolidge was quoted as saying, "The nation that forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten." You'll see that quote on the patches of the Patriot Guard Riders here today. If I have one thought to leave you with today, it is we never forget those who have fought and sacrificed so much to defend and protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. Thank you.